Hello drivers! I had the desire to launch REDRIVER 2 again thanks to the addition of new features in the already long list of cheats available in the Mr. Sam cheats table. In this video I will showcase you the new stuff while reminding you how to get the table working on your PC so you can also enjoy it easily. First thing first, if you don't know what we are talking about, REDRIVER 2 is the famous project by Sophie that lets you play the original Driver 2 from the PlayStation 1 on your PC with reverse engineering mastery by Sophie, enabling many improvements in the graphics and gameplay department. If you are looking to enhance the original experience, this is where Mr. Sam table comes handy. Last year I showed you a good chunk of his cheats including footprint speed, roadblocks madness, character skin selection and of course controlling the helicopter in Rio or driving secret cars in different cities. The table still lets you do all that stuff of course, but Mr. Sam recently went back to work on the table and added many new things. In those additions, many are related to the multiplayer game mode, which I've never tried, but I might soon because it improves a lot the experience. This does not mean that single player got nothing, far from it. Here are a few cheats that you will find in the latest version of Mr. Sam cheats table. Gravity. You will notice it easily if you try to jump over the bridge in Chicago, but it is quite difficult to time your drive to them, so the easiest way to have fun with it is by playing a good old survival in Havana. In fact, you can mix this shit with the select vehicles for driving games feature and take the truck, for example. The survival in Havana has the most convenient jump location alongside Vegas, so you will immediately notice the difference in gravity. In this case I put the number to 1, so it gives some kind of moon gravity. But you can also put the number higher and then the vehicles will tend to stay on the ground. Select vehicles for driving games. It is one of my favorite cheats from the new batch because you can experience the driving games with different conditions. Survival with a truck or a bus will not give you the same results that you are familiar with, and the same goes with the other driving games such as Trailblazer with the fire truck in Chicago, etc. Semi-truck in Chicago. We are used to see the semi-truck with the trailer on because that is the prop that blocks the way during Kane compound mission. I'm saying prop because technically it is not drivable by any means in the original game. In fact, playing with the trailer attached is not the best either because the wheels will not move as it is never planned to do anything else than being a prop in the mission. This is why it required a bit of work from Mr. Sam, and with the help of Kant, the trailer was detached and then it was possible to drive the semi-truck in Chicago. When the script is enabled, you will see it in the car selection, not with a proper thumbnail, but you will recognize it because it has the work in progress default thumbnail. With this truck, I also recommend to use the better camera script because the camera will be further away and you will better see the road and the semi-truck. Surprisingly, I prefer not to use this script with regular cars because it has the opposite effect and the camera is zoomed and you don't see as much as with the default camera setting. At least it is easy to switch between the two versions. README. That includes pop-up when picking certain cheats, providing more information. That's a useful feature because sometimes you might need additional steps in order to get the cheat to work. For example, the helicopter in Rio will only spawn if you start and take a ride with a regular traffic car or the cop car. That is what the pop-up will tell you if you click on the related sheet. Flying cars, this one is in fact how the helicopter is behaving, but you can do it with any vehicle for fun. It is also possible to enable and disable it on the fly, no pun intended, by using a controller combo, in this case L1 plus R1 plus circle plus up. Be careful that some invisible walls are in the cities, so you might hit something in the air. The spawn, not new, but since I recorded footage with this shit on, I included it in the video. It is clear, as the name implies, you can spawn many vehicles by clicking on the script. You can change what will spawn by editing the number, but sometimes they do nothing. I think that the game will eventually crash if you spawn too much, but I like to spawn cars in the same place so they will pop up when you touch them, so a little bit of chaos. Overall improvement, it is a script bundle which is useful since there are so many to enable. With one click it will enable many of them. There is also one for the multiplayer improvements. A better follow camera. As I said earlier, I feel like it is situational and really good for trucks, but give me your feedback if you try this option. The clock timer freeze, technically not new I believe, but I've been asked a lot about this possibility, so yes, it exists. Just go to HUD and tick player 1 timer counter, which will indeed act like the time does not pass anymore. You can also find it in game settings. When I try it, it appears that just ticking it will have the opposite effect and you will instantly fail the mission. So in my case, I put a very high number, like 500, and then it worked as intended. With that, it allows you to roam freely during missions, especially since some of them are only linked to time rather than zone check, so you are good to go. And working from the demo, I don't remember if I mentioned it last year, but in fact in the demo Tanner was able to walk, which was removed in the final version, so he's always running, or let's say jogging at least. With the cheat enabled, you can walk with the specific animation made for Tanner. About the multiplayer game modes, the undercover story missions are fully playable with another player, as well as the driving games, and you can now benefit from a dedicated multiplayer submenu for convenience. More than that, the gameplay was tweaked by Mr. Sam to add the features that were absent from multiplayer, such as minimaps, co-ops, and of course the fact that you can play outside the limited maps of Chicago and Rio. When I really tried the co-op game mode, which I have not yet, it will deserve another video dedicated to those multiplayer cheats. Tutorial. It is easy to use. You need Cheat Engine 7.3 or newest version, and it works just like Snoopy's cheat table for Driver 3. Once REDRIVER 2 is launched, you go to the process list and you select it. Then you open the cheats table and that's done. Most of them just need to be ticked, while others might require a value editing. So, disclaimer, you need the latest release, which at the time of this video is the build 772 from AppWire, to play bug-free with the cheats table. Sometimes the version will go up and some cheats will not work anymore, but usually Mr. Sam is quite reactive to update the table for you to enjoy it on newest game version. And this ends our showcasing. I hope this video gave you the urge to try the new cheats just like it did for me. Thanks to Mr. Sam for the continuous support, as well as Sophie of course for REDRIVER 2, and thanks to my REDRIVERs that financially support the content of my channel. DriverDimension.com, French Contact, Neurosyn, Stinkon on YouTube, Paul Lanois, Mut, Carguy50, David Autosport, and Denis Frontier. You can join the REDRIVER Club and access exclusive rewards by clicking on the link in the description. In any case, see you soon, drivers!